Besides blood, what most defined a person in Hitler's Germany was a passport. But at my age, I was ineligible for that as well and had to be inscribed in Moms. Mutti, I called her, and she and everyone else called me Biba. Like many little boys in Germany, I was nicknamed Bubi, but promptly mispronounced it to create the unique identity of Biba. We lived in Weissenfels, a well-scrubbed town in Saxony, near Leipzig, which manufactured shoes, staffed the Leuna chemical works, and served as a minor railroad hub for central Germany. My parents' passports were Polish, not German, although neither spoke Polish and had not lived in Poland since early childhood. Actually, they never lived in Poland at all. When Papa and Mutti were born in 1902 and 1904, Poland had undergone one of its periodic dismemberments. Their native villages, proverbial Städtlach named Busk and Sokal, were dots on the map in a region called Galicia of what was then the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The region became Polish again after World War I in 1919. It became Soviet at the start of World War II in 1939, then German, then Soviet, finally Ukrainian at the end of the Cold War in 1991. The Jews of Galicia could have amassed a colorful array of passports, if only they had survived these permutations. The Frankels of Busk and the Katzes of Sokol migrated separately before World War I to the city of Gera in German Thuringia and took apartments in adjoining streets. They came in search of economic opportunity, which they found by buying and selling rags and cheap clothes, but they never lost the stigma of being Ostjuden, Eastern Jews. Even without the ethnic instruction of the Nazis, the German Jews looked down upon the scruffier ones from the East and not infrequently wondered aloud why they didn't go back where they came from. The Ostjuden looked too Jewish, talked too Jewish. They were embarrassing obstacles to the German Jews' assimilation, which was an exercise more in hiding than in merging. The bent and bearded caricatures of Ostjuden that German Jews carried in their heads looked very much like the pictures the Nazis drew to portray all Jews everywhere. Still, Papa and Mutti lived easily with these distinctions. They thought of themselves as born in Austria-Hungary and only perversely branded Polish. They felt like Jews and lived like Germans. The quest for their own business took them from Gera to Weissenfels shortly after I was born. The chemical workers promised to be good customers of my grandfather, a peddler, and his son, who dreamed of opening their own dry goods store. There were no major tensions between the 120 Jews and 40,000 Germans of Weissenfels. The Jews were prominent among the merchants, lawyers, and physicians. Many of them had assimilated clear into mixed marriages. The fathers of our town's German Jews had fought for Kaiser Wilhelm II in World War I, and they would have fought for Germany again, if allowed. We were the only Jews in town who did not possess German citizenship, and our political views were a smidgen less Germanic than those of the rest, but we were respected members of the Jewish congregation and accepted members of the larger society. Mom often testified that until the Nazis came along, anti-Semitism was something her parents talked about only in tales of the old country. In Weissenfels, she said, the most common distinction between Jew and Gentile arose in discussions of servants. People thought a German girl trained in a Jewish household was less desirable. She was too spoiled. Frankel became a well-known name in Weissenfels on New Year's Day in 1933, when it appeared in large letters above the entrance of a store at one corner of the town's main marketplace. The store carried stockings and handkerchiefs, suits, dresses, some shoes. On special order, it could provide tables, beds, and sofas, even an occasional icebox or piano. Opa Isaac Frankel, my grandfather, and his energetic son Jacob acquired their goods in Leipzig or Berlin, added a modest profit, and delivered wherever you wished. And if the buttons on your suit had to be moved or a dress needed shortening, Jacob's wife, Mary, was at hand a few hours each day with pins in her mouth to make the garment fit. The appeal of the Frankels lay not only in their cheerful one-stop service, but in their apparently trusting nature. They let even 1,000-mark items out of the store with only a small down payment, and after months of weekly collections, when you were close to settling the debt, they would urge you to take home.